here bringing you a message about how you don't need a mentor or a strategy or a market trend to really have a great business breakthrough. And I am just in love with this idea because this morning and for the past couple of weeks, I have been thinking about something and I was wanting to apply it to business because I know so many people out there are looking for how can I make my business grow? How can I make more money? How can I be the best at such and such in business? And let me just tell you all, I have invested over the last several years a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money into really learning about things in the entrepreneurial world. And I have paid high ticket coaches a lot of money. And I've also done a lot where didn't have to pay a lot for things to get certified in something that I thought was really interesting or spiritual or would help me to grow as a person. And this came up for me because I know so many people out there. I'm surrounded by them all the time because I'm always tapping into what's new, what's different, what is attractive for me to learn so that I can help my clients, for the people who I mentor. And so I was sitting here thinking about my own personal journey for the last 16 years. And I say 16 years because my personal transformation had been going on for many years. I was always looking for ways that I could be more daring, ways that I could expand myself. But that was all in reality, what I would call kind of like surface level. It was really more the physical or more the 3D. And since I have studied so much for so long about the spiritual plane and the business plane, but I really didn't get into that until later on because I quit corporate America. And so I started delving into a whole new avenue, a whole new realm of ideas, of possibilities. And I've read hundreds and hundreds of books, and I've listened to hundreds and hundreds of podcasts and YouTube videos and so many things. I have done so many things. And the journey of starting this spiritual piece of myself, or looking for the inner empire, as I called it, or you can call it the kingdom within. I started looking for that 16 years ago because I hit a rock bottom. I hit a place where I was very unhappy, very miserable, and I didn't know how my life would ever change. And so I started to investigate other avenues. I started to think, what could I do differently? Because I've tried all the conventional ways. I was in conventional for so many years, almost 40 years, you all. I was doing it the conventional way. And the conventional way had stopped working for me. And I thought to myself, there's got to be another way, another avenue for me to find solutions, for me to find a way out of the fear, out of the doldrums, out of the mundane, out of the stuckness, out of the feeling like, is this all there is to my life? And maybe you could call it a midlife crisis. I don't know. I never called it that, but maybe it was a midlife crisis. And so I started seeking the inner kingdom, the inner empire, you all. I started to look for what was within me that was broken, that was not working, that was stuck, that was unhealed, that was any of those words that you want to use. And what I started to figure out was, oh my gosh, there's this whole other world that I didn't know anything about. And I started to investigate and get inquisitive. And I started to search for other ways to do things besides the conventional ways, the programmed ways that I had been taught, that I had conformed to society to believe was the only way. And you all, I was this person, and maybe you can relate. Maybe you're one of those people that says it's this or that. It's black or white. It's one way or the other, and there's no in between. There's no gray matter. And I was one of those people. But as I started to delve into this whole other world about what's within me, what are the things within me that I've never utilized? And I did find the mentors, and I did find different strategies and education and wisdom from people. I did find all that. But what people don't realize is that if you're always looking out here for your answers, you never know what's coming from within. And you do have an intuitive sense about you that knows where your life is supposed to go, that knows there are other avenues, there's other solutions. And so, if you are totally dependent on a mentor all the time, or a certain strategy all the time, or you are following a certain market trend all the time, and you think this is it, because this is what I thought. Oh my gosh, this is it. This is going to be it for me. I know it. This is it. And I followed that stuff for a good reason, to learn that I needed to listen to my own deeper inner empire. And it has the answers. And maybe some of those things, like those leaders, mentors, market trends, strategies, those could be ideas or helpful for the moment. But long term, they're going to phase out or fizzle out or fade away, or you're going to get bored with them, or they're not going to work anymore. And I have seen this so much, you all. I have seen this stuff because I pay attention and I watch. And there's a lot of guru coaches out there that want you to buy their stuff. And I did this. I invested in that, and then they don't deliver. You pay them a big sum of money, and then you maybe learn some stuff, but a lot of it is busy work. And the busy work keeps you distracted from your main purpose, your main goal, your main focus. And what I've also learned in my personal life is there's a lot of teachers out there to teach me in relationship personally. And this doesn't have to be just about business, because this life is to know thyself, and it's to know what is going on with us internally. And so many of us disregard and don't pay attention to that. And we don't think about the value and importance of studying the inner empire. What's going on within us? How are we responding to other people? How are we reacting to other people? Because all of that is intertwined, right? We live in an ecosystem. We have an ecosystem that we're in, each one of us. And so if we don't pay attention to those things, we're not going to grow. We're going to stay stuck and stagnant somewhere in some way, shape, or form. And so I wanted to read something to you that I found that I was writing down about some stuff that I found very interesting. Because in business, we can chase numbers and status and symbols of success. But the real gold comes when you stop chasing and you start listening. You start listening to yourself, to your heart, to your intuition, because I did a lot of that chasing. And I thought and this is a great story, and I probably won't tell it here, but I've been chasing what I thought was my prize, was a person. And I've been chasing this person for a very long time, or not chasing in a stalking sort of way, but just like chasing this relationship, and it's not working for me anymore, because I thought I would get the prize, this person, if I chased. But really what I was chasing was the inner kingdom, the inner empire, the kingdom, what I called the kingdom of heaven. And that's applicable to not just relationships, but everything. Because there's this saying by one of my favorite people, or one of my favorite authors: seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and the Maserati will show up when it's supposed to. And I love Maserati cars. But I also was thinking about this. The inner empire is a space of deep clarity. It's a space of alignment, and it's a space of intuitive guidance that lives inside of every single one of us. Every visionary leader has this inner empire. And then it says, when you align with that, the client shows up, the funding flows, the Maserati, that too, the Maserati shows up. But not because you forced it, but because you became the kind of person that success can trust. You became in alignment with it. You started to realize that all of the stuff, the gold mine isn't out here, it's in here. And so many of us forget that. We don't even, oh my gosh, so many people don't even realize this their entire lives. And then they end up dying and they have to come back. This is what I say. They have to come back and learn the lesson over and over and over. And I've already said, I'm not coming back. I'm not doing the lesson anymore. So I better get it right this time because this is it for me. I'm out of here. I will be somebody's personal mentor or spiritual coach or whatever you want to call it when I'm transitioning, and then I can be there on the other side helping people here because I've had many lifetimes here. And so I'm ready to just say, capiche, I'm out. And so then the last thing that I wanted to say, build the business, but first build the one inside of you. So if you're looking for somebody to help you, to mentor you, to find that inner empire, I am that person that can help you to do that. And so I want to tell you my email in case you're interested in learning more about my mentoring program, which I would love to share with you. You can get on a call with me and learn more about my mentoring program. Just send me an email at melissa@reclaimrebuildrestore.com. And so I just think this is such an important message, especially for me, because like I said, for 16 years now, I've been hardcore seeking that inner empire, seeking the kingdom of heaven within myself. And it's been a hard road at times. It's been a really hard road. If you've done this kind of work where you've gone into your shadow, where you've read a lot of books, where you've gone through a lot of grief, where you've traversed so many obstacles, but you've also had a lot of joy and a lot of wonder and a lot of understanding about why we're here and what it looks like and what you need to do to have a very happy, joyous, free, fulfilling life, then you will show up and you will do the work and you can weave the work throughout your life. That is the beauty of doing the spiritually transformative work, is that you can do it and you can live in the 3D too. You can do the work. Now, sometimes what ends up happening is I would go up here into the what I call the upper world, and I wouldn't want to come back down into the middle world. And then I traversed into the lower world, the underworld. And then you go down there and you're like, oh my gosh, wow, this is insane down here. But we as priestesses, I'm a priestess, we learn to traverse the worlds. And we can go into the upper world. We can come into the middle world. We can go into the underworld. And we learn in all of these spaces. And that's why the priestesses actually were the people that everybody in the community went to for the wisdom. They went to the priestesses to learn about the upper world and the underworld as they were living in the middle world. So this is just fascinating, and I would love to connect with you. If you're interested in learning about my mentoring, just send me a message at melissa@reclaimrebuildrestore.com. I would love to connect with you. I hope you all are having a super duper fabulous day. Go into your inner empire, start learning about yourself, start figuring out what it is that makes you happy and what brings you joy and what your passion is and all of that stuff. And you will learn. If you open that door, you will start to learn that you don't need all of these other things to find that wonderful golden ticket. I mean, it's really the kingdom of heaven is within you. The inner empire is within you. And if you start opening that and doing the work and really starting to go to sometimes what people think is a scary space because they don't know anything about it and they're nervous and afraid of who they'll become or what they'll lose or how to make that shift. But this is what visionary people do. And I love that one of the things that it said too in here was in business, we're taught to go big and scale the company, build the brand, hit the numbers. But what if the real empire isn't out there? What if the real empire, what if the most powerful ROI was the return on inner investment? The return on inner investment. What would that mean for your life? What would that mean for you, for your spouse, for your children, for your grandchildren, for your lineage going forward and backward? What would that mean? This is powerful, you all. And we are coming to a place where leaders going forward need to know about this return on inner investment because times are changing, consciousness is changing. And I know lots of people are getting divorces because they're sick and tired of being with a partner who is unwilling to budge or make a change in themselves. And this is why I made a change in my life, was because I saw that my partner was unwilling to even step into a space of being vulnerable and work on himself. And so maybe you're at a crossroads in your life and you want to do something different because you know if you don't start to shift or change, your business is going to go under, your marriage is going to go under, or you're going to lose a relationship with somebody important in your life. Well, then I would highly encourage you to do some inner work on your inner empire because it will make a difference, you all. And you will become more confident and you will shed fear and you will start to fall more deeply in love with yourself and your path. And I'm not going to say it's always roses, butterflies, and unicorns. It's not. But if you have somebody that can guide you, facilitate you, and be there for you to listen and hold you up and support you, that makes a huge difference as well. And I'm a part of lots of communities, and it makes a difference to have somebody in your life walking you through that. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. I'm going to be expanding on this message. I can't wait to talk more about this and bring you these videos. And so I hope you all have a super duper great day, and I will look forward to connecting with you again very soon.